Hello Comrades. Congratulations on booking your seat successfully for our front-end web development course. I am here to give a detailed course structure for this course. So this course is categorized into two parts. So in the first part you will be learning about HTML and CSS. In the second part you will be learning JavaScript, BOOTSTRAP, React.js. After completion of these modules, you will be doing projects and you will be getting certified with the course completion certificate and project completion certificate. So as a final step, we will be providing you with 100% internship assistance.
For now, let's only consider the part 1 of this course. The part 1 of this course has been scheduled from October 28 to November 4th, 7 PM to 8 PM every day. So in this course, you will learn to build a responsive design by using HTML and CSS. After completion of every class in part 1, you will be having a quiz. By scoring more than 75% in every quiz, you will receive a bonus of worth 1000 rupees for every class. So you can claim all the bonuses that you have got in your part 1 after the end of the first week. How you are going to claim all the bonuses that you have received in your first week? For this, you have to wait till part 2. So congratulations and all the very best for everyone for your great journey.
Hello comrades, welcome to the day 2 of front-end development course. So how are you all? Are you all excited about it? Just type 1 in the chat box. Just type 1 if you're excited. You practiced yesterday's topic that we covered. You went through the quiz. All right, I can see the excitement in the chat box. All right, let's start with today's session. Okay. Does anyone have any question before we move to the new topics today? Anyone have any questions? Any questions with the setup, HTML basic tags, attributes? All right. Okay, so today we are going to start with semantic and non-semantic elements, and then we are going to see how we can design a layout for a website, forms and icons. This is what we are going to see today. Okay, today's session is very interesting because you will be able to understand what goes behind the structuring of a real-time website. Yesterday we talked about basic tags, but today we will actually going to see a proper website, like how to design a proper layout for any web page. Like let's today we took example of Amazon. So if I go to Amazon again, so you will be able to understand what is this header, what is this footer, how these cards are coming. So you will be able to understand all this in today's session. All right. So firstly, we have semantic and non-semantic elements. So whenever you are start developing any website, definitely collection of web pages is called a website. So first of all, we need to understand the home page, the main page which user is going to open. For example, if I'm hitting this link called amazon.in, this is the first web page that is opening, amazon.in. Okay, so this is called your home page. So let's say if I want to design the same home page for my application, so what I will do, I need some semantic elements here. Okay, so as we saw yesterday, we are working on HTML5, the fifth version of HTML. So in that there is something called semantic elements was introduced. Okay, so what are these elements? These are the elements which describe the meaning of the element. For example, header is something that always comes at the top of the website. Navigation comes after the header. Then footer comes as the bottom part of the application. And in between what you see is sections. So here in this Amazon, this first topmost part is called header. This is called navigation bar. If I scroll to the bottom, this is called your footer section, and in between you have multiple sections. So you will be able to understand whenever you're designing a website or a web page, what you really need to do as a part of this HTML document, like where you need to start writing your code. So I will be using these semantic elements today. Header, footer, section, nav, these are your semantic elements. So header is generally the introductory content where you can have navigation link, search bar, logo, all that content will go inside the header section. Then we have footer section, which is the bottom part of the website. That is this one. So generally you have quick links here, social media icons, social media links, subscribe to a newsletter. This is what you will see in the footer section. And then we have section. Section is defining the section of a document. For example, this is called one section. This is another section. This is another section. So these are multiple sections over here. These all are sections over here. And then we have nav is like defining the navigation links. For example, here you can see these are your navigation links. Navigation will help you to navigate within the website. Okay, let's say if I open another website for an example, here this is will be my header part. In the header only they have the navigation part. So these items will help you to navigate within the website. Here these are different sections: first section, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So you have multiple sections here. And here you can see your footer section. Okay, and you can see social media links here. So this is what we are going to write. So this is the place where you have to start developing your website. So first of all, we have header. So whenever you have to develop any web page, any website, this should be the structure of your layout. Header. After header, we have footer. So in header, you have the introductory content. That is your links or search bar or the logo. This is what will come here. For now, I'm adding a heading, let's say H1, welcome to our website. Let's say this is a normal text I've added, welcome to our website in the header tab. Between header and footer, we have something called main. Between header and footer, we have main. For example, this starting part, this part till here, this complete part is called your main. This complete part is called main, and in this main we create separate section. So here you can see this is my first section. So this is header, this is your nav. Between this header and this footer till here, this is my main section. Inside this main section we have different sections over here. So I can create, let's say, 1, 2, 3 sections. So now you will see it will be easier for you to break down the layout and develop a website. For the HTML part, it is very easy now. Header is obviously giving me information. It's the topmost part of the website where you will have logo, maybe address, cart icon, search bar. Then footer will have social media links. This footer section will have copyright symbol. Here you can see this copyright symbol we can also add. Okay. So for copyright symbol, we can use and copy. This is how you can add at the rate 2023, let's say. So this is your footer. And between header and footer is your main. Inside this main, we can create multiple sections. So let's say in first section, I'm going to create a list. If you all remember, yesterday we did list. Okay, so that is what I'm going to add here. Let's say unordered list, li, let's say HTML, CSS and JS. So I've added 3 li items over here. In the second section, I can add a heading. I can add dummy content by using a shortcut, and I can add one image here. Let's say this is the image I have added. Okay, these are the 2 sections I have developed. Now, if I want to run this, I will right click here and open with live server. So you can see this is how it is coming. Okay, so if I show it to you all side by side, you can see this is your header section, this part, the topmost part. This is your footer section, which is having this at the rate copyright 2023, and this is your section. Section is every part of your website. You can see, like in Amazon, this is called your section. Section 1, section 2, these are your multiple sections over here. These are multiple sections. Okay, so now it will be easy for you to understand the website layout, because now you know you have this structured elements called semantic elements. So you can simply add header, then you can add nav, then you can add footer, and between header and footer comes the main. So this complete part is your main section. In that you can create multiple sections. Now it is easier for you to break down this website as well. Similarly here, this will be your header, this will be your footer, okay, and between header and footer is your main section. In that main you can have multiple sections, one, two, three, four. You can see this is your heading tag, this is your p tag, okay, so you can easily create this now. So this is the layout of your website. This is what you all need to follow as a part of your website layout. Okay, after header you can have nav as well. Okay. For nav we actually add navigation links, and for links we need to understand one topic called linking anchor tag. Okay, so we have not covered it yet, so I'm not adding anything here as of now. I'll just keep it empty for now. This nav will come here, navigation links. Okay, like home, about, contact, whatever you want to link your website with, you will be adding that here. Okay, so nav will come here. Nav can be a part of header as well. Okay, or it can be a separate as well. Like here, nav is separate. Here, nav is separate from header, and here, nav is a part of your header. Okay, so they can be separate or they can be different as well. But this is how you need to start developing your website now. This is the structure you all need to follow. Okay. Now, next question comes. This Mentic elements were introduced in 2014. Okay, these elements were introduced in 2014. So, what was there before that? Okay, the question comes. What was available before that? So, before that, we had non-semantic elements. Okay, which define nothing about the content. Even in interviews, this question can be asked: difference between semantic and non-semantic, or they can ask you it's something like what are the features added in HTML5. So semantic is one of the features added in HTML5. Okay. So in this way, this question can be asked in interviews as well. So semantic are very easy to understand. They are defining meaning of the element like header, footer. You're able to understand the meaning and use it. On the other hand, we have non-semantic elements. They define nothing about the content. Okay, so we have two as an example, div and span. Okay, so div is like a tag, okay, which is used to define or section or division. So whatever your section element is doing is exactly div tag is used. Okay, so before semantic element was introduced, div tag was there. Okay, before semantic element was introduced, we had only div tag. So div tag is used, it's a container element. We can add any tag, any element inside this div tag. And if I show you as an example, so now before semantic elements means before 2014, this is how we used to write. So I will replace all these semantic elements with div tag. So we have this one single tag instead of semantic, that is your div tag. So whenever you have to create a new section, we have this div tag. So I'm just replacing all the semantic with the div tag. Okay. Now you all tell me which is a better option. Adding semantic elements or just using div tag here for structuring your web page. Which is a better option, semantic or div tag? Yes, Steve, which is a better option? You can drop it in the chat box. Semantic or div tag. Okay, Karthik is saying semantic. What about others? Semantic. Tarun is saying semantic. What about others? Semantic. Okay, so you all are saying semantic. As you can see, when I use semantic, it's easier for me to understand. Even let's say you are placed in a company, whenever you are placed in a company, initially you work on production or as a support, like you want, they will ask you to make some changes in the website. So at that time also, if you see a header tag, it's easier for you to understand. This is my header tag, and I can just go and make the changes here. Okay, so it's defining the meaning. When you look at footer, you know it must be the bottom part of the web page. Instead, if you write div, it will be difficult to understand. Okay, we that doesn't mean we don't use div tag. We still use div tag. Like inside this section, you want to create multiple divisions, then you will be using div tag. Okay, but for main structuring of your website, you will be using semantic elements. So this is your div tag. Okay, we will be using div tag as well. So whenever you want to add sections inside this section element, okay, inside this section you want to divide it into multiple sections, at that time I will be using div tag, because you can't use section inside a section. It's a wrong practice. Okay, and then we have this span tag. Span tag is again important. It is a inline container which will help you to style a part of a document. For example, let's say I have one p tag here. Okay, I will add some content here of 10 words. You can see I have added this line, okay, which is having 10 words. So let's say you just want to style these three words with the color red. I want to style only these three words with color red. Okay. So we know we can style it using style attribute, but style is a attribute here. Okay, so I need to add it inside the opening tag. So I can't style it. I can maybe shift it to the next line, but right now the requirement is I want to keep it on the same line. So what I will do, I will just wrap it in a span tag. So whenever you want to mark up or style a part of a document, so I will just wrap it in a span tag and I will add style attribute, color red. So now you will see this text will come with red color. And again, it's not going to the next line. So it is staying in the same line. Okay, so when you want to style or mark up a part of a document, you can just wrap it in a span tag. You can see in the same p tag, I added this span tag so that I can make this text color in color red. Okay, so this is your semantic and non-semantic elements. Okay, so now you all know how to structure using these semantic and non-semantic elements. Now I have added one slide for the layout. Okay, so whenever you are thinking about a layout, this is something you can keep it in your mind. Firstly, you will have a header, then nav. Nav can be a part of header, it can be separate as well. Then you will have main. In the main, you will create multiple sections, and then you will have footer. Okay. Similar to this, we have something called a side tag as well. Okay. To show you the side tag, let me just open something called Google font here. A side is also a semantic element. Okay. But just to show you an example, I'm opening it here. So let's say if I click on this, okay, you can see a sidebar is coming. Okay, when I click on this, you can see a sidebar is coming on the right side. Okay, so this is called your a side tab. So this is the JavaScript functionality. When you click on it, it will come. When you click on this cross, it will vanish. It's a JavaScript functionality. So but right now, this is something we can use as a side. Like here I can use a side tag after section, and here I can add the content. Now through JavaScript we can handle the functionality, like this should be displayed when user click on it, and we can hide once user click on the cross. Okay, but here this is also a semantic element we have aside. So generally to create a sidebar like this it is used. So when you click on it, it will come. When you click on cross, it will vanish. So this is your aside tab over here. To create this right side part, they have used aside tab. Okay, so this is again example of semantic element. These all are semantic elements. Okay, so always keep this layout in your mind whenever you have to start designing any website, developing any website or a web page. Okay, and you can open any website. You can open Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, any website you can open right now if you want. Even Amazon, you can take an example. You will see the same structure: header, sections, multiple sections, and a footer section. Same header, multiple sections, and footer. Okay, so this is the same layout I am following. Okay, so this is semantic and non-semantic, and this is the layout of a web page or a website you all can follow. Okay, now is it clear? Any questions? Just type one if it's clear till now. If anyone have any questions, just drop the question or just type one in the chat box. If you don't have any question, just type one in the chat box if it's clear. Otherwise, you can post your question in the chat box. Just type one in the chat box if it's clear. Otherwise, you can drop your question in the chat box. Okay, it seems clear. Okay, okay. Shriram is asking why I used and copy team. This is an entity symbol basically. For example, if you want to get this symbol called copyright here, this copyright symbol. Okay. So for adding this, I'm using this entity symbol over here and copy. Okay. So we have lot more like we have and GT. If you want to get a greater than sign, you can use it. Okay. So on Google, you will get. So you can just Google entity symbol for any particular symbol. Like for greater than, if you want to get a entity symbol, you can just Google and you will get these entity symbol names online. Okay. Copyright is very common, so it's so easier to remember. Okay. Okay. Mahinder is asking about layout. Okay. Let me give an overview about layout again. So in this layout team, this is exactly what I am following. So you have header, then nav, then footer, then you have multiple sections, and then we have something called a side tag as well. These all are semantic elements. A side is this one. Whenever you want to create a side tag, basically if I click on it, this sidebar will come, and if I click on cross, it will vanish. So to create this sidebar, we will use a side tag. Okay? So whatever you see inside this sidebar is a side tag. Okay. So when you see a side tag in a website, in any website, like let's say you're accessing some company's website and you see a side tag, you will realize this must be a sidebar code. Okay, and this obviously on click of this button it is coming, and click of this it is vanishing. This is your JavaScript part. Okay, this is JavaScript functionality to bring it and hide it. But right now, this whatever you see inside this aside, this content, this is your aside tag on the right side. This part, this sidebar is your coming through a side tag. Okay. If you add it right now, it will come like a normal text. Like if I add something here, hello, it will come like a normal text right now. Hello. Okay. But through JavaScript, you need to hide it and display it. That is your JavaScript functionality. But when you have this a side tag, it will give you information. It must be a sidebar. Okay. On click of a button, it will come. On click of a button, it will vanish. Okay. Dharanisha, is it clear now? Okay. All right. Going ahead. Next, we have forms. Form is like the most important topic of HTML because every website have form. Okay, for example, let's say in your website a site tag is optional. Maybe you will have this functionality of sidebar or maybe not. But form is that one topic which every website have. Okay, every website. If you go to Amazon, Instagram, LinkedIn, if you go to Study Comrade website, even if you look at Google Forms, okay, like you must have used Google Forms as well. So all these will require something called form. Okay. And form is one topic which is there in every website. So you can actually like master it because every website is going to have the forms. Okay. For example, sign up forms are there, login forms are there. Then we have contact us form, feedback form. These are the forms we have. Okay, like even if you sign up into any application, you have to enter your email ID, password, name. So to capture these user data, you need form. Okay, and this is the way user can also interact. Okay, for example, let's say I open one website. I'm browsing through the website. I'm like, for example, in Amazon, I'm just browsing through the website. Okay, let's say I like some product. I click on this. Okay, I will click on, let's say, this product, and I will click on add to cart. Okay, let's say I will click on add to cart. So once I click on add to cart, this product is added inside the cart page. This product is added inside the cart page. Okay, so here when you click on this button also, it's a it's a HTML part. Okay, when you see this button which is coming in UI, it's a HTML part. Once you click on it and some functionality is performed, that is a different thing, which for that part you need JavaScript. Okay, but for now, to bring this button in UI you need forms. To bring this button in UI you need forms there. Okay, so the form is going to help us to capture user input. Okay, to bring input fields in UI you need forms. So again, we have something called form elements, label, input, select, option, text area. All these are my form elements. So we are going to see all these one by one. And then we have something called form attributes as well. Okay, so we are going to see that as well. So what I've decided, like instead of checking what every form input and type, we'll just directly start with some form. Like I will create a sign up form, so that because in the final websites, you this is what you really need: how to create a sign up form, how to create a registration form, how to create a login form. So we'll directly jump to the how to create a sign up form. Okay, and to create that form, I will be using these elements. So let's say, first of all, let me add a heading here, sign up form. Here I'm going to add form element. So this is the first thing you need to add, form element here. Okay. Inside this form, we have something called label. Okay. Label is the text that will tell to the user what user need to enter in the input box. For example, I will ask user to enter first name. Okay, let me open it side by side. You can see this label is coming here. I'm just commenting out this footer as well. You can see this sign up form and this first name. This first name is the label. This will tell to the user what is this form input field is about. And here you have input. If you want to bring the input field, you have this input tab for that. Here you have a lot of attributes, like you can give type, what type of input it is. So we have different input. You can see it's button, number, date, email, password. You have so many examples here. For now, I will keep text. We will have this name attribute. This name attribute is very important. Let's say I'll give this name first name. And then in the label, we have something called for attribute. Let's say first name here. In the label, we will have for attribute. So this for will help you. I will show you where this for is used. Okay. So this for is equal to first name, and here name is equal to first name. Okay. So I am saying this label is for this input box. You can see this label is for this input box. So in a website where you see any text before input box, that is label. Okay. Similar to this, we can create multiple input box. Like I can ask user to enter email. Here, if you look at type, you will see there are so many examples in type. You can see there are so many examples: type, color, checkbox. So whichever you need, you can select that type. Right now I need email, so I will select email. Name is equal to, I'll keep it same. For is equal to email. Okay. Just make sure your for and name should be same. You can give any name here. If you want to give E, you can give E, but name has to be same. Now, this email is for, label is for this input box. Okay. And here you can give a placeholder like please enter name. Okay. So you can see this is the place, you can see placeholder. Then you can enter placeholder is equal to please enter email. Okay. So now in the backend, you need to understand which input box belongs to which input that user is entering. Like if user is entering data in this input box, then that should be first. That is where this for and name combination will help. Okay, so this is compulsory to add. Similarly, we can ask user to enter password because it's a sign up form. Let's say password, and here I will say input type is equal to password. Name is equal to password, pwd. Please enter password. So you can see now user will enter password. You can see name, email, and password. Okay. Now, obviously, there is a sign up form, so there is very important thing that is called button. Button has to be there. Let's say submit button. Okay. Inside this submit button, we can simply write type as button. We can give type as submit as well. Okay. So now you can see the submit button is coming here. Okay. You can, if you give type as button, this is how it will come. So now you can see the sign up form. Obviously, you need CSS to style it. So that part we will see tomorrow. That is your CSS. But for bringing that form in UI is your HTML. So this form is coming in UI right now. Okay. So your sign up form is created. Like this, you can, like if you are planning to create a registration form, you want to ask user to enter contact number, let's say. So you can just ask user for contact. I can use input type is equal to TN, that is telephone. Okay. After this, we have, let's say label is equal to, I will ask user to select your favorite color. So for that, we have type color. Okay. So we have a lot of example in this like color. Okay. Then you want to ask user about birth date, birth time. Okay. So for that, you have type date and type time. So we have all those. Like you want to ask user to select their gender. Okay. Like select gender. So I will simply write here input type is equal to radio. Okay, so for that we have this radio button. I will ask user to select gender and then input this value attribute you need to give here. Let's say value is female. So you will, if it's female, user will enter female. Okay, I'll just change it to female. If it's male, then user will select male. You can see this buttons is coming. Okay. If you look at it, this is exactly what you all see in your MCQ questions as well. Whenever, even when you do a quiz, you do a quiz through where you select out of like A, B, C, D or multiple choice questions. Okay, those multiple choice questions are creating using this only, this toggle, this radio button, where you select one option out of two. Okay, that is your radio button only. Okay, like you can see I'm able to select both, that is your multiple choice question. Okay, and let's say if you want to select one, like if I click on female and then if I click on male, then female should vanish. Okay, then what you can do is for that you can give a same name attribute here. Let's say gender, and same name you can give here. You can see if I select female and then if I select male, the female one will vanish. This is like when you have a question like, let's say what is HTML? It's a markup language, logical scripting language. Okay. So if you are allowed to select only one option, then you can give same name to these two options. Okay. Or if you want to keep it different, then you can just add different names. Then you are able to select multiple options. Okay, this is how your MCQs are prepared, quiz are prepared using the same radio. Even Google form is using the same radio buttons. Through CSS, obviously you can style it the way you select it. This part can be changed, like the styling part. But these MCQs quiz questions are created using this radio button only. Okay. Then we have input, that is your checkbox. Everyone must have used it at least once in their lifetime. That is, I agree to terms and conditions. You must have, whenever you sign up into any application, you get this option of I agree to terms and conditions, this checkbox. Okay, so this is also type checkbox. This is input type is equal to checkbox. This is how it is created. Okay, and if you want to add some validation, like you want user to enter the data in this first step, then you can have these boolean attributes, like you can make this required. In this input you can just give this as required. Now once I click on submit, user have to enter data inside this one, then only user can proceed further. Okay, then you can have input as disabled. Okay, disabled means user will not be able to enter something here, it is disabled. So these are the attributes we have which we can use. Like for contact number, I can have a validation like min length. Okay, the minimum or the max length for a contact number is obviously going to be 10. Okay, so you can just give 10. But means maximum length is allowed is 10. You can't enter anything more than 10 as a digit. So like this, we can create a form. So bringing these fields in the UI is your HTML part. Obviously, to CSS, we can style it. Okay. After this, we have a few more types. Like if you want to create a drop down, if you want to create a drop down, you can use select. Okay. If you want to create a drop down, we can use this select. And let's say I can ask you to select the country. Like I can give options here. Let's say option one is Canada, option two is Australia, option three is India. So I will ask user to enter country. Then again, name attribute, let's say country. And here you have to give value attribute. Okay, value attribute is the value like in JavaScript. Basically, we are going to see this whenever you capture the data what user has entered or selected, we selected using this value attribute. So that's why this value is important here. Australia, here it will be Canada, and here the value will be India. So now you will see this drop down will come. I will ask user to select Canada, Australia, or India. Whichever user will select will be selected. Okay. And here HTML is not a case sensitive language. Means if you keep the select capital, okay, if you keep the select capital, it will work. If you keep it capital, it will work. Okay. But as a good practice, as a front end developer, you have to make sure you're using small keys for all the tags, all the elements. So here the section H2 form. It's your responsibility you're using small keys. Okay, as a style guide, you have to use small keys. You're not allowed to use capitals here. Okay, because if you even if you use capital, it will not give you any error. But as a good practice, you have to make sure you're using small keys here. Okay, so now you can see your simple form is ready. Having name, email, password, contact, favorite color, select the gender, I agree to terms and condition, and submit. Okay. Now through CSS, obviously we can style it, but your basic form is ready. Okay. All right, like this, these are the tags we have seen like label, input, option. Okay, we have something called text area when you want to, let's say, ask user to enter multiple lines of text. Like you want to ask user to enter your feedback. That time you can use this text area. Like name is equal to feedback. Like you're asking user to enter the feedback. So you can use this text area. You can see this feedback will come. Okay. And here you can define rows and calls like rows 10 and calls 10 means rows and columns. That is 10. You can see 10 rows and 10 columns will come. Okay. If you want more, you can give it 20 rows and 10 columns. You can change it to 20 here as well. Okay, now this is how it will come. Okay, so you can actually ask user to enter feedback. Like when you see 0/250 characters, sometimes you see 0/250 characters here. Okay, means only 20 characters are 250 characters users can enter. Okay, so that is your this text area. When you're asking user to enter more than 80, basically till 80 characters you can go with input, but more than that you need multiple lines. That time you can go with text area. So you're asking user to enter your feedback and enter your message. At that time, you can use this. If user is asking you to, let's say someone is asking you to write about yourself, obviously you're going to add at least 100, 150 words. At that time, we can use this text area. Okay, and even if you have applied somewhere online, they ask you to enter your cover letter. Okay, or why you want to join this company. There you get this text area as well. Basically, when you want to write multiple lines of input by the user. That time we can use this text area. Okay. So these are the form tags we have. These all are form elements. You can see label, input. Input further have different type values. Okay. Then we have seen select, option, text area, button. These all are your form elements. Okay. Now, similar to this, we have something called form attributes. Okay. For example, this form over here, this form, on this form, we have three attributes. Method. By default, method is get. Okay. I will tell you the difference. Then action and then target. So basically method, we have two values, either get or post. Okay. So get is basically when you're getting the data. For example, in login, for example, when you're logging into any application, you want to get the data. Okay, that time we will use get. Okay. Get is obviously not secure. We are not going to use get if you want to, if you have a confidential data like password, then you are not going to use get. Okay, then we have post. Post generally when you have confidential data and let's say you are signing up into application for the first time, that time we go with post method. Okay, and whenever you are having get method, all the data once you click on submit, all the data will come as a part of your URL. Okay, like if I, like you can see this is my URL, and if I click on submit, okay, I need to change this type to submit so that my form should submit. You can see if I click on this submit, first it is asking me to fill out this field because it's required. I have added it as required over here. So that means I need to enter the data here. And if I click on submit, you can see this is coming in my URL. Here you can see. First name right now is Alex. You can see this first name is exactly what you see here in name. This name is coming here. Okay, so when you have method get, all the data when you submit is a part of your URL. That's why it is not considered as secure. Okay, but in case of post, obviously it will not come. So get is secure, post is not secure. In get, generally you give method as get when you're logging into any application. Okay, signing into any application, and you're going to use post when you're creating account for the first time. Okay, when you don't want form data to be included as a part of the URL, that is your post. Okay, action is once the form is submitted, you want to open a page. Okay, let's say once my form is submitted, I will be sending all this data to the server. So generally you have this dot php, some file, let's say x dot php, some php file will be there. Okay, php is basically a technology for working on backend. So you will have some .php file where the data, all the data that user has entered will be stored. Okay, and target is like this page that you're opening will open in a new tab or in the same tab. That is your target blank. If you make it blank, it will open in a new tab. For example, I don't have any PHP file, but I can just create a simple HTML file and show you. Okay, I will keep this method as get, action as submit.html, and target is blank. So now in this HTML file, I just add form is submitted. Simple text, form is submitted. So now you will see once I click on submit, this form will open. This page will open, form is submitted. Okay, and you can see I have kept target as blank, so that's why it's opening in a new tab. I am giving the action means once this form is submitted, what I want to redirect it to this page. So this page will open. Okay. Similarly, in real time, you will have some backend link. Okay, some file where the data is stored. But just to show you the output in the front end, I added this new file, submit.html. So now once my form is submitted, this page is opening saying form is submitted. Okay, so for your practice also you can do the same thing. Okay, for right now, if you want to practice it, you can follow the same thing right now. Okay, now this field is required as I only set it. Once I submit, this page is opening saying form is submitted. Okay, so this is about your forms. Definitely, we have a lot of type values. Like you can actually explore this type values. You have date, time. Like for example, you're asking user to select your birth date, or when you're doing online booking of train, flight, hotel. At that time, you need to select date and time. That time we can use this date and time. Time. Okay. If you want user to select file, for example, you want user to select their resume, let's say, so, or any PDF file. Let's say if you're applying for a voter ID card, we will ask you to upload your Aadhaar card photo. So file, that type file will be used. Okay. So this is how we can use this different types. This is your form, elements, and attributes. Definitely, you can practice. You can try creating some registrations, login form, and after submitting, you can display a message. Okay. You can give some styling. If you remember, we did some styling properties like this will come in center. You can give some color to it. All right. Lastly, we have icons. If you want to add icons to your website, okay. So you really don't have to do much there because you already have these icon libraries. Okay. Online, these icon libraries are available like Font Awesome, Bootstrap, Google Icon. Okay. These are the three examples I've added, but you can use either of them. Definitely, Font Awesome is paid. I can show you. Okay, let's start with Bootstrap icon. Bootstrap icon is completely free library for using the icons. Like if you need any of these icons, like you want Instagram, Facebook, if you want Instagram icon, you want user icon, like you are creating a form, so you can use this user icon. Then we have this is completely free. Google icon is also completely free, but obviously they have limited icons. But this is also completely free. Here you can see you need search icon, home icon, this hamburger icon. You can use this close icon. You can use this garbage icon. And lastly, you have this font awesome. Font awesome is good. This is something we use in real time, but they have some paid. The good, I mean, they have most of the icons paid. So I can show you. So they have category wise icons as well. Okay. So this pro means they are paid. You need to pay them. Okay. So I would suggest using Google font icon, Google icons, or you can go with Bootstrap icon. Or font awesome is something we use in real time, but it is that client will do the purchasing and business will do the purchasing and give it to you. Okay. They have few icons which are free as well. You can explore them, but pro ones are the paid. Okay. But for your practice, we can just explore this one. Okay, so how to use them is firstly in Google, if you're going with this one, just keep scrolling. Just keep scrolling. In the end, you have something called CDN link, Content Delivery Network. Okay, the CDN link, just copy it. Okay, you will see the CDN link, copy it and paste it inside the head section. Okay, this is the CDN link for Bootstrap icon. Okay, let me explain what this CDN is. CDN link is content delivery network link. So whenever you're using any third party library or framework, anything which is coming as a third party library or framework, you need the CDN link. For example, if you want to use this icon like user icon, okay, let me just search for user here. Okay, let's say I want to use this user icon. I will click on it and here you will get the code. Okay, you can see you will get the code here. Just click on it and paste it here. Let's say I will use this here. It will form, I will use it here. Just after the sign up form, I'm adding it. Okay. Generally, your icons are wrapped in either I tag or span tag. Okay, because these two tags stays in the same line. So you can see this I will come here. Okay. So this class by person circle. Okay. This is something you can imagine is coming from this serial link. Okay, so what they have done, they are dedicated developers who have created these icons and they are providing to the people like developer like us, and we are using them. But for using them, you need the CDN link. Okay, if you don't give the CDN link, this class is not recognized. Okay, so if you're using Bootstrap icon, just use its CDN link and add it here. The I tag. Now you will see this user icon will come. See, this user icon is coming. And through CSS, you can change its color, font size. You can change it easily. Let me just try out few more icons. I can try out Instagram. Let's say I'll just copy it and I will use it here. CDN is one-time process. You just need to add CDN link once. Let's say social media icons are generally present in the footer section. So I will just add it here. You can see it will come here. You can see Instagram is coming here. Okay. We can get more icons as well. We can get Facebook. Just add serial link and whichever you need, just search and use it. Like WhatsApp. I just copy it and add it here. We can use this WhatsApp link as well. So whichever icon you need, just copy and use it. Let's say Twitter. We can try Twitter as well. You can see, I'll just go here, copy this and paste it here. You can see this Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitter. These classes are coming from the serial link. Okay, so you need to give the serial link because we are using third-party icon library. If you're using this one, Bootstrap, whichever you're using, you need to use the serial link. Twitter is coming. Okay, and after this, you can give color, like using style attribute. You can give color. Instagram, I can give pink, color green. WhatsApp, then class is style is equal to color blue. So these are the colors I can give here. You can see. Okay, using CSS, you can give the colors, the styling properties. So this is how you can use this third-party icons inside your website. Any questions? Please type one if it's clear. How to add icons, how to create a form. Just type one in the chat box or just write your query in the chat box, the question. If it's clear, just type one in the chat box. Otherwise, you can drop your question in the chat box. Just drop one if it's clear. Yes, team, just type one if it's clear. Okay, all right. Yes, Ritesh. For the CDL link team, if you're adding the CDL link, okay, only for once you need internet. Once you like, let's say I have right now internet connected, I use the CDL link and it's coming. Okay. After this, you don't need internet because this CDN is downloaded and added in your cache memory. If you delete the cache memory, then you need internet again. So only for once you need. Otherwise, it gets added in your cache memory. Basically, downloads the file and add it in your cache memory. So only once you need internet if you're using CDN link. Inside the head section, you can use the CDN link. So you can see in head we added one more tag to the link tag. Okay. REL means relationship and HREF is the path. Okay. Now the last part for the day, that is block and inline elements. It's just an observation. Okay. I will be asking you all. You all will be telling me. I'll just tell you the definition and you will tell me the example. Okay. So the definition for block level elements are the elements or the tags which starts from a new line. Okay. That is a block level element. Okay. And if it stays in the same line, any tag or element stays in the same line, then it's an inline element. Okay, let me repeat. Any element that starts from a new line in UI, it's block level, and any element that stays in the same line is inline. So tell me the example for block now. Tell me the example for block level elements. So what examples we can conclude here? Which tags you think started from a new line? Which tags, whatever tags we have done in the past 2 days or elements, which started from a new line? Heading tag, yes. All the heading tags started from a new line, so these are called block elements, block level elements. But okay, button is a inline team. If you look at this, button is staying in the same line, so it's a inline. Okay, BR is okay. Div is your block, correct? So all your semantic we have done, okay? Header, footer, section, main. These all are your block level elements. And inline is your button, form elements, input label. If you look at this, label, input, they all are staying in the same line. Okay, so this is your inline. Span tag is your inline. Span tag here I use, it is staying in the same line. Okay. All the list elements, li elements, like UL, OL, LI, they all are block level. They all start from a new line. Paragraph, it starts from a new line. Okay. So all these are your block and inline. So sometimes in interviews also this can be asked. Okay. What is the difference in block level and inline elements? So you should know the definition. Okay. Again, let me just repeat. In interviews, definitely they can ask you about semantic and non-semantic elements, or they will ask you something like, "Tell me the features added in HTML5." Okay, so semantic is one of them. In form, obviously, they can ask you about form elements, form attributes, difference in method get and method post. Like in get, you see data in the URL. In post, it's not there. Okay, and get is something we use when you want to get the data, like sign in situation or login. Post is when you're posting, sending the data, like uh, sign up situation. Okay, then they can ask you about different type attributes, type attribute values. Okay, that is what they can ask you. After this, they can ask you about block level elements, inline elements, examples and definition. And for icon, they can just simply ask you what icon libraries we can use. So just remember at least two names. Okay, Bootstrap, Google icon, and font awesome icon. So these are the questions can be asked out of these. Or on the spot, they can ask you to just create a simple sign-up form, registration form like this. Okay. All right. Just type one if it's all clear from today's session. If you have any questions, just drop it in the chat box. Just type one if it's clear. If not, just drop your question in the chat box. Then we'll proceed with the quiz. Before proceeding with the quiz, today's quiz, if you have any questions, please drop it in the chat box. Before proceeding with the quiz, if you have any question, otherwise just type one. Okay, I can see a lot of ones here. In 1 minute, you all will get a quiz link in the chat box. Okay. Before that, if you have any question, please ask. Okay, I can see one. All right. Okay, this REL here, it is telling me the relation. Basically, the link that I'm adding here. So this icon library that we have is .css file. Okay, tomorrow we will be starting with CSS. So there I will tell you the CSS file. This REL means this is a style sheet. So whenever you're linking a CSS file, you give relation as style sheet. That's why I've given it here, style sheet. Yes, I can explain an overview about this. Semantic elements are the one which is defining the meaning of the element. Like when you give header, footer, it is giving you information what will come in footer, what will come in header, section element. Okay, and on the other hand, when you give non-semantic, they doesn't define any meaning, but we still use them, but they're not giving the definition when you read about it. Okay. That is the main difference in your semantic and non-semantic. And you can just read through the tags examples here. These are the example of semantic. These are the examples of non-semantic. Okay. All right. Study Comrade team will add the link now for the quiz. They will pin the comment. They will add the link in the chat box. Okay. So you all can proceed with your quiz. All the best for your quiz. Please proceed with the quiz. All the best for that.